At the outset, let me thank the principal of PS 91, Victoria Catalano. Victoria, thank you. And everyone at her school for hosting us today. She's been the principal here for 3 years, was an AP for 11 and a teacher before that. Is that right?
That's correct.
NYU graduate for graduate school, Hunter College, and Christ the Church for undergraduate.
Christ the King.
Christ the King.
High school.
High school. And elementary school and junior high school?
St. Bridget in Ridgewood, Queens.
But a real New Yorker. I unfortunately can't claim that. I came from Boston. Medford High School, 1960. It was before most people in the room were born, like maybe everybody in the room. We want to thank everybody at the school for hosting us. We've come here to describe the next steps we're taking to overcome a continuing serious problem for too many of our students, and that is chronic absenteeism. In September of 2010, we launched a pilot program to reduce chronic absenteeism in our school called Every Student, Every Day. And as we saw last year, the data this year continue to show just how well it is working. In 50 schools across the 5 boroughs that are part of this pilot program, including PS 91 where we are, the proportion of students chronically absent has fallen. In participating elementary schools, for example, the proportion of students who were chronically absent has dropped 27% compared to the previous school year. And these results are so encouraging that we'll expand our Every Student, Every Day program to a total of 100 schools this September. And today we're also announcing 2 more big steps that we're going to take to combat truancy. First, we're launching a major new effort to inform parents and guardians about why chronic absenteeism threatens their children's future success and happiness. It includes the largest public information campaign addressing this problem that any school system in the nation has ever undertaken. And second, we're announcing a new internet-based absenteeism help center for parents and guardians. Let me start by underscoring why these efforts are so important by summarizing the scope and dimensions of the problem that we're addressing. Before the current school year is up, more than 1 out of every 5 students in our public schools will have missed a month or more of school. That is 200,000 plus chronically absent kids. And such serious absenteeism clearly jeopardizes their ability to keep up in school. And it's also often a tip-off that students face other troubles, unrelated health or emotional issues, neglect or abuse at home, or serious problems that need to be addressed right away. Chronic absenteeism also is often a child's first step down the wrong path in life. National research shows that 75% of students chronically absent in the 6th grade never graduate from high school. Let me repeat that. 75% of students chronically absent in the 6th grade never graduate from high school. If that isn't an early predictor of disaster for our children and for this country, I don't know what is. In New York City, students in the 3rd through 8th grades with good attendance are more than twice as likely to score proficient on state standardized tests than chronically absent students do. And the earlier we address absenteeism, the better. Now, those numbers aren't surprising. If you're not in school, you can't learn. And if you don't come to school, maybe there are other problems that you have or your family has that will keep you from learning. Nobody has just one problem. Everybody's got different degrees of multiple problems. And it's our responsibility to find out when there is a problem and see what we can do to address it. This is the 2nd full school year that our interagency task force on truancy, chronic absenteeism, and school engagement has been at work addressing this problem. And one thing they've learned is that many parents and guardians either don't recognize the serious consequences of chronic absenteeism or don't know what to do about it. And that's why we're launching the ad campaign you see on display here. And it asks the question, it's 9 a.m., do you know where your kids are? And then it points parents towards help. Now, starting today, these ads will appear in subway stations, on buses, and at bus shelters and newsstands around town, and also online. And we're starting this campaign now because school absenteeism typically spikes during May and June. Then we'll relaunch the campaign in September, when a strong start in attendance is critical, and with warnings about absenteeism posted in the schools themselves, homeless shelters, and community centers, and also with messages printed on some 5 million Metro cards. This is a $9 million campaign with all of the work and ad space donated absolutely free. Some of the participants in the campaign are here, and I want to thank them now. Rob Feekins, President and Chief Creative Officer of Publicis New York, the firm that created the ads. Priscilla Natkins, Executive Vice President for Client Services at the Ad Council, and Neil Giacobbe, Head of Public Affairs at AT&T NYC, which is generously paying for placing the ads. And I just want to thank all three of them and their companies. They really are doing something rather than just complaining about the problem or acknowledging a problem. They're actually putting their money behind and talents behind doing something about it, and they're going to make a big difference in a lot of kids' lives going forward. These new ads also tie into today's second announcement, how we're giving parents and guardians new sources of help. The ads urge parents and guardians to get more information about absenteeism by calling 311 or texting school or escuela. When they do that, they'll be prompted to log on to the new web page at the city's website, nyc.gov. This web resource includes a help center, a one-stop shop for information on the underlying reasons for chronic absences, including, for example, asthma and other illnesses. It also tells parents where students can get help get tutoring help with their schoolwork or substance abuse counseling. And it connects to the city's Department of Education's ARIS Parent Link, ARIS Parent Link it's called, an online portal where parents can view their children's attendance and classroom performance records. So if they can get online, they can find out whether their children have been attending school and how well they are doing. And I'm happy to say the city's 3 public library systems are also pitching in. Starting next week, these libraries will display posters and distribute palm cards, and the staff also will help parents and families access the online help center. So now to say a little bit more about our absenteeism campaign, let me turn the floor over to the person overseeing it, my Chief Policy Advisor, John Feinblatt. John?
Thank you, Mayor. We're now in the closing stretch of the school year, and it's an exciting time for many students and many of us because summer is in the air. Coney Island and baseball games beckon, but unfortunately sometimes at the expense of going to school. So in fact, we know that between May and June, attendance drops pretty dramatically. In fact, for elementary schools, attendance between these 2 months drops about 5%, for middle schoolers about 7%, and for high schoolers at about 10%. So we need to redouble our efforts to get kids across the school year finish line. And that's why we're reminding New Yorkers about the simple message of the mayor's campaign on attendance and truancy, and that message is this: every student, every day. Our efforts to fight truancy have been paying off. The results are good so far, and this year in our pilot schools, of which we have 50, students with mentors attended 11,820 more days than similar students at comparable schools, and these gains have been posted across the grades. It's promising. It's definitely promising, but school's not over yet. It's only May 10th, and there's a lot more to do. From focus groups that we held with parents at our pilot schools, we really learned 3 things. One was that parents weren't connecting the dots. They weren't realizing that a kid's absence could have severe consequences later in that child's life. And even if they understood the connection, many of them didn't know how many days their kids had missed or how to find out how many days their kids had missed of school. And even those that knew about their kids' absences didn't really know where to turn for help. And so we're trying to address all 3 of those things today. We listened, and in addition to the ad campaign, which certainly explains the risk of not going to school, how to get information, and how to get help, we're bringing, as the mayor said, a major new resource to the fight, and that's the city's library system. Starting this month, on every day in a public library across the city, we will have trained library staff, which will be on hand to help parents get online, particularly for those who don't have their own computers at home. They will help parents get information they need about their kids' attendance. They will help them see what the resources are that can help them, whether it's a family who has a kid who has asthma, a new immigrant family who doesn't understand some of the ways of our school system, and so on. And 4 times a year, starting May 19th, just 9 days away, DOE specialists will actually set up shop in one library per borough, teaming up with library staff to sound the attendance alarm, just like this campaign is trying to do, and will help parents connect to the DOE online system and to the information bank that we have. So I particularly, beside wanting to thank the extraordinary talent who managed and created this campaign, I certainly want to thank the 3 library systems for their commitment to this effort. They know what's at stake here. They know that helping our kids succeed and stay out of trouble will benefit all New Yorkers. Thank you.
Next up, our great schools chancellor, Dennis Walcott. Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And first, good afternoon to all of you and to the 4th grade students. I wanted to wave to say hi to all the 4th grade students. It's always a pleasure to see our students. And to our teachers, especially this week with it being Teacher Appreciation Week, just want to say thank you for everything you do morning, noon, and night on behalf of our students. To our great principal, thank you for your leadership as well. The mayor and John have basically said it all, but the one thing I want to reinforce is that this is a team effort. And you have not just the Department of Education, not just John's office, you have Leslie and other city agencies and not-for-profits, the library system, the MTA, the Ad Council, all working together on behalf of our students, making sure that our students are in school. That way they can learn, grow up, and become successful adults. That's our goal, to make sure that we reduce truancy and absenteeism, making sure that our schools are able to then have our students so our great teachers can be in the classroom with them and our great leaders can lead the schools to make sure they're getting a high-quality education. So, Mr. Mayor, I want to say thank you once again for your leadership and pulling us all together. It's really an outstanding opportunity to have a major impact on our school system, but most importantly, making sure that our students grow up to become productive adults. Thank you very much.
Dennis, thank you. The city's absenteeism campaign has been advised and studied by one of the nation's leading experts on this issue, Dr. Robert Balfance, a research scientist at the Center for Social Organization of Schools at the great Johns Hopkins University. Dr. Balfance? I had to give a plug.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon. A way to think about chronic absenteeism is to really relate it to bacteria in a hospital. It's an unseen force that creates havoc with our efforts to help people. And the good news is, just like bacteria in a hospital, is once you understand that and you measure it, monitor it, and act upon it, you're in a position to really prevent and mitigate it. And really in this area, I just want to say that from a national perspective, New York City is really at the forefront of these efforts. The efforts of the Department of Education to get data on chronic absenteeism in usable form into teachers' hands is really a big step forward. The monitoring, the ad campaign, and the internet tools today is really getting parents in the game, letting them monitor their kids' attendance. Because remember, especially by middle school and going forward, kids are taking public transportation to school. So parents may see them leave the house in the morning and don't know at the bus stop they go left and not right, right? So really by getting that access to that data to them, it helps them monitor it. And then finally, act upon it, right? Bringing the libraries into the game, and also the great interagency effort of getting asthma and homelessness, all these things, having the whole city work together is really central to this. And then the final thing to think about is, why does this matter? It matters because there's no work in the 21st century if you don't graduate from high school. And there's no work to support a family if you don't have a high school diploma and some sort of post-secondary schooling and training. And in working on a big national report we're doing on chronic absenteeism that's coming out next month, we saw again and again that every day truly matters, especially for kids in poverty. And every day they miss is a little step off the path to adult success. So as a community, we really have to make sure we corral them back and put them on that path of success, because it's good for them and it's good for us. Thank you.
Dr. Belfance, thank you. PS 91 is currently in its first year as an every student, everyday school, and I'm happy to say that through the end of March, the proportion of chronically absent students was down 26% compared to the same period during the previous school year. And now taking a victory, a well-deserved victory lap, but also telling you how they did it, Victoria Catalano, the principal.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chancellor, for giving me this opportunity. I'm very proud to be here today. When I found out about the Mayor's initiative, Every Student, Every Day, I was really excited to implement it in our school. I knew we had a need to improve attendance here at PS 91. I had been invited to Gracie Mansion. I was very excited about that over the summer to learn about the program, the task force. And I believed in my heart that chronic absenteeism negatively affects student performance. So I really made a conscious effort myself to bring this program in and to really put it into the school under the guidance, of course, of the Mayor's initiative and the task force. My first step after the summer was over was to bring it into the school, bring it to my staff. I needed to get everyone on board. I knew if everyone wasn't involved and everyone wasn't on board, we were going nowhere. And I began it by a faculty conference just like this with my teachers. I needed to get everyone on board, I knew, for the program to be successful. And we followed the task force suggestions because they gave us a number of strategies to help reduce chronic absenteeism. And my goal was to follow these strategies that they outlined, that they gave me an enormous amount of information, and to move forward. I formed a committee, and we met weekly, and it was entitled the Principals Weekly Summit. And the task force recommended that was the best practice. And we believed them, and we did it, because we knew we were going to get results. The committee then developed an infrastructure for the program, and it consisted of key personnel, and that we would meet weekly, and we would be the steering force of this committee. We also started a Success Mentor program with the help of the Mayor's team. I didn't have outside mentors, so we used internal mentors. So they suggested my teachers and their staff, and we used key people in our staff to mentor our children. I chose the out-of-classroom and the cluster teachers to be the mentors of the program. They have a couple of minutes in the beginning of the day where they go and they meet and they greet and they make that personal connection with the children. They also help to diagnose the absences and provide interventions, and this is the huge foundation of the program. They really develop personal relationships with these children, called their homes, spoke to parents. It was huge, and it was an enormous effort, and it led to success. We also have a lot of feedback. We get a lot of feedback from the teachers, and we use that to help our program become better. Too many people, parents and teachers alike, don't know about the dangers of chronic absenteeism. The task force helped us to become more aware of this problem, and hopefully this new ad campaign would help the whole city will become more aware of the dangers of absenteeism. And again, I am honored and privileged to be here to talk about the implementation of the program here at PS 91. Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Catalano, thank you, and because of your leadership, we really are making progress. Now, PS 91 uses success mentors, and one of them is with us today, and I'd like to ask Rebecca Murphy to tell you a little bit about it. Rebecca?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, my name is Becky Murphy, and I've been a teacher here at PS 91 for 16 years. And in September, I was assigned to mentor 10 students. And it was also my responsibility to develop attendance mentoring relationships with the students and their families and log these on data dashboard. It's been quite an experience. I've loved every minute of it because I've become sort of a resource for the families and for the students. And it has led to improved attendance. And the improved attendance has also led to improved academics. So I'd like to thank the mayor for this initiative and the task force that is part of it. And I really, really do hope that every single school in the city can become a part of this program. Thank you.
Becky, I think if they look at what you've done, maybe they all will want to sign on board. They certainly should. Also joining us is the parent of a PS 91 student who's been helped by this program, Mr. Quinn Corosino, Sr. Mr. Corosino, there you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Quinn Corsino. I'm the father of Quinn Corsino II, a fifth grader here at PS 91. My son, due to family challenges, had 29 school days absent. This year, he's down to 3 days absent for the whole school year. The Board of Education met the needs that we had in the challenges in our home with medical issues in getting us the kinds of help. Also, the program instituted by Mayor Bloomberg developed an awareness to us, the parents, that just as small as 2 days out per month would equal to 20 school days a year, in turn jeopardizing the success and future of our children. Now, that's a very small number. It sounds like just 2 days a month, but significantly, it really matters because it adds up. Now, having the mentors in place really made coming to school something for my son that was very gratifying. They met him every morning and greeted him. He always speaks of his mentors highly and how happy it is to come to school and be welcomed. They speak with him during the course of the day. He's told me that they've sat together for lunch. They merited him with awards, which really boosted his motivation to want to always come to school and never mess up that record. To be able to succeed. It's made him become a higher achiever. This year he's in the honors class, top of his class. And I'm really thankful to the mayor's office, principals, vice principals, the mentors, and all those that helped to allow my son to succeed. Thank you.
Okay. Our last speaker is somebody who can speak about chronic absenteeism and why it's not so good for you. A real hands-on participant. Mr. Corosino's son, he is a fifth grader at PS 91, Quinn Jr.
Good afternoon. My name is Quinn Corsino, and as my dad said, I have been absent 29 days last year and 3 days this year. This program has helped me by achieving more awards, and which I've never got before. This is my first year of getting awards. So I would like to thank all those people that had helped me. My mentor, Miss Murphy, she's helped me. She's encouraged me, coming in every morning, saying good morning, having a cheery mood, and that's been helping. My family has a medical issue with my sister, and since we've done a few things, that's been helping. Miss Murphy, she's a nice mentor, and my teacher, nice teacher. My dad's been helping, and that's what's been helping me a lot. So I'd like to thank everyone that's been helping me. Mr. Frank in the morning, every time I come in, he's saying good morning to all the students that are here, 4th grade, 5th grade, and 3rd grade. And even my principal, Mrs. Catalano, she's on the announcement speaker every morning. She says good morning. It's a good mood to have that, and it feels good. So I would like to thank all those people.
And you're really an honors student now?
What?
You're an honors student now? I went to school all the time, and I never became an honors student. Before we take questions, let me just try to summarize for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. Hoy lanzamos una nueva campaña para avisar a los padres y tutores sobre los problemas que pueda causar el falta crónicamente a la escuela y para darles información sobre qué hacer para reducir el absentismo y ayuda a sus hijos. And with that, we'll be happy to take some questions.